Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Yasodhanandana Vraja Yasodhanandana Yasodhanandana Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jnana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakamvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhano Sutederi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Ipa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So 2 more days and the festival is really going to be peaking. There is a festival fever now going on, Kartik. But that's on the 28th we have the Purnima, but the temple will be closed from 4 p.m. and will open for darshan the next day, Mangalartik. But we'll have the Damodarastakam, the new Krishna Balaram Hall, Goshala. And go pick it, yes. But temple, Bhana. It's closed for everyone. So we're reading from the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the divisions of faith. Text number 15, is that correct? Huh? So please repeat after me. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chaya swadhyadhyaya vayashanam chaiva. That's a little difficult, eh? Swadhyaya vyayasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chaya swadhyaya bhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Somebody else? Anudegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chaya swadhyaya vyashanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate anudegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chaya swadhyaya vyashanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate anudegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chaya. Word for word meaning, anudvegakaram, not agitating. Vakyam, words. Satyam, truthful. Priya, dear. Hitam, beneficial. Cha, also. Yat, which. Swadhyaya, of Vedic study. Avyashanam, practice. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Vakmayam, of the voice. Tapaha, austerity. Uchyate, is said to be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Austerity of speech consists of speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Everybody please repeat. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Purport: one should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students if he will agitate their minds. This is penance as far as talking is concerned. Besides that, one should not talk nonsense. The process of speaking in spiritual circles is to say something upheld by the scriptures. One should at once quote from scriptural authority to back up what he is saying. At the same time, such talks should be very pleasurable to the ear. By such discussions, one may derive the highest benefit and elevate human society. There is a limitless stock of Vedic literature, and one should study this. This is called penance of speech. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya vyashanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So from text 14 till text 17, these three types of austerities are being mentioned by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. First one that was mentioned in the previous text is the austerity of the body. Consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, worshipping the Supreme Lord, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. And now we are talking about here the austerity of speech, and in the next is the austerity of the mind. Srila Prabhupada translate tapasya as austerity in his class in Vrindavan. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 1, October 22, 1976. He says, tapasya means give up this sense gratification, that's all. Tapasya means, you should understand what is tapasya. Tapasya means to deny. Nidrahara viharakadi vijito. This is one of the lines from the Swami Astakam. This is tapasya. Tapasya, you should understand tapasya. Why tapasya? Tapasya just to purify your existence. Just like if you get fever, the doctor says, don't eat anything. Don't take anything. Don't touch this. Why? That is also called tapasya. If you got fever, if you have got dysentery, and you still go on eating as you like, there will be no end to it. It will increase. So, tapasya is meant especially in the human form of life. If one wants to elevate oneself and to make further progress in spiritual life, then tapasya must be there. Tapasya means involuntarily doing things we may not like for example, getting up early in the morning. But then, later on, we will feel guilty if we don't get up. In the beginning, or like a child, he doesn't want to go to school, thinking that, oh, if I go to school, I'll not be able to play. But he didn't know that when he goes to school, there'll be a lot of schoolmates whom he'll be able to play. Of course, this is in the kindergarten. Later on, you have to be a little serious and really perform tapasya, like studying very hard to pass the exam and to ultimately graduate. So in spiritual life, tapasya is there. It's involuntary. We may not like the things. There's so many do's and so many don'ts, especially in the very beginning, in the sadhana bhakti. So many regulations we have to follow. But ultimately, the spiritual master says that if we follow this, then we will make progress in our pursuit of spiritual life. Anyone who wants to go back home, back to Godhead, must follow these teachings coming from the scriptures and the spiritual master. So, here is one of the tapasya, which is very difficult to do. Austerity of speech, to be truthful. Usually, truth, if someone speaks on the truth, we don't want to hear, because it is painful to hear the truth. The materialists, they will not tell the truth. They would like to, you may say, flatter. Oh, you're doing good. Yes. Keep going. Even though you're not doing good. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, one who flatters you is your enemy. One who tells you the truth is your friend. And in Kali Yuga, when Parikshit Maharaj, he saw the personified Kali beating a bull. The bull is actually in pain and only in standing in one leg. The legs of the bull is compared to the four principles in religion. Austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and what is the other one? I'm just now forgetting. What? Daya, mercy. Yes. In Krishna consciousness, we need to know these things. Mercifulness, cleanliness, truthfulness, and austerity. In Kali Yuga, only one leg is practically in the bull, or that means signifies or symbolizes that there is still a little bit of truthfulness in Kali Yuga. You've heard of the story of the son of who belongs to a very poor family. So the teacher asked the boys, when you come back, tell us, who is your father? So the boy went home and he asked his mother. His mother says, actually, my dear son, I don't know who is your father. I cannot tell because I had so many lovers, paramours from before. So he went back to school and the teacher asked him, so everyone had a reply, who is their father? Everyone said, yes, yes, yes. Except this one boy. He says, actually, I don't know who is my father because my mother doesn't know. So actually, the teacher concluded that he is a Brahmana, truthful. And in Kali Yuga, though, everyone is born Sudra. That means in the lowest rank in the social status. Sudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and then Brahmana. The last of the Brahmanas was when Sringi cursed Parikshit Maharaj. That's it. The decline of Brahmanas start to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. So, in speech, we should say things that should not agitate the minds of others. In the material world, this is what you call hate speech, especially in social media. We've heard some, they commit suicide because they go back and forth, sending messages, and the messages that's being sent are very, very painful. It disturbs the mind that ultimately they cannot take it anymore and they commit suicide. Devotees always speak in a pleasing way. Truth must be said, but in a palatable way. If one is trying to tell the truth and the person cannot understand what you're saying, that means you are not saying the truth. Because truth has to come across, has to be understood very clearly. And because the devotees of the Lord, they back up what they say from the scriptures, which is infallible. The scriptures written by Srila Vyasadeva and other acharyas, they have concluded the tattva or the science of the Supreme Absolute Truth. And therefore, everything that's been written by Srila Vyasadeva and other previous acharyas are truth. It's not there to flatter us. Actually, it can cut our ignorance. It can cut our material attachments. And therefore, for us to repeat what we've heard, Prabhupada says, you just repeat what you've heard. You just repeat what you've read. But it has to be done in a very palatable way. Because it's very difficult to say the truth. Prabhupada can say, you rascal. Yeah? You ass. You stupid. But for us, young people, we cannot say like that to public, right? We don't have that authority, or we don't have that purity to say it. But we have to say it nevertheless. So it says here, the teacher can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But he should not speak. The teachers, when they teach their students, they do it out of concern, out of love, not out of false ego. And as Srila Prabhupada says, it is my duty to correct you, to find faults on you. Otherwise, how can we make advancement if we don't get chastisement from the teacher? So the teacher is there to correct us, and we should be thankful. Sometimes the students, if they're a little bit naughty or disobedient to the instructions coming from the teacher, sometimes they'll be punished. But the punishment itself is an act of love or concern so that they will not repeat the same mistakes again. So truth must be spoken in a palatable way. One should not talk nonsense. He says, you can tell a fool when he speaks. Yeah? You've heard of that before? You can tell a fool when he speaks. And usually a fool or a crazy person is like, those who are ghostly haunted. They all speak nonsense. And everything in the material world is nonsense. It can help us a little bit, but not ultimately to free us from the cycle of repeated birth and death. The Prabhupada would say, a person, a very rich person, he will have heaps of newspapers to read, but he will not have time to read the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, whatever he reads, that only also will come out. Whatever you're absorbed the whole day, that will come out when you speak to others. So, one should not speak nonsense. The process of telling the truth, which is the austerity of the speech, should be pleasing, beneficial, and not to agitate others. One should, says here, if one has to speak, he should say something upheld by the scriptures. One should at once quote from scriptural authority to back up what he is saying. Prabhupada says we should be like lawyers in the court. If there is some case being dealt with, the lawyer will always back up what he's saying from the previous cases done before. So similarly, we should not speculate, and this is very difficult. This is one of the prohibition. Gambling is speculation. So when we speculate, we are not sure, like the scientists or so-called modern civilizations, they will say, maybe, perhaps, it could be, I think, it must be like this or like that. Not sure what they're saying. It's not absolute. So devotees, they don't say like that. When they give class, they don't say, maybe it is like this. No, it has to be right to the point. Oh, perhaps in the future. No. Everything is right at this moment. Everything is back up from the scriptures. And therefore, it is pleasing and it is purifying. There is also one of the mottos of Srila Prabhupada, purity is the force. So here in Vrindavan, there are many professional reciters of Bhagavad Kathakars, or Bhagavad Sapta, so many advertisements. But because their life in private is not pure, therefore whatever they say may be pleasing. Yeah? It's enjoyable, but it is hollow. It does not have that impact to purify one's heart. Huh? Totally incomplete. Yeah, it's incomplete. It is like sense enjoyment. They don't change the heart of the listeners. Unlike a new bhakta, the one who joined Krishna consciousness, let's say for 6 months, following very, very rigidly the sadhana, good attendance and morning program, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and reading Srila Prabhupada's books, if they talk with another person, let's say marathon is coming up, they will meet a person in the street, they'll be able to convince that person to take a book, and ultimately, one day, that person who took the book will become a devotee. What to say of those who's been practicing Krishna consciousness for many, many years? So purity is the force. We have to control the tongue, because this is one of the function of the tongue, to vibrate, to speak. Yeah, to speak, to vibrate. Which means that we also, because, not sometimes, most of the times, the tongue is quicker than the thought of what to say. Sometimes we are in a situation that we will speak immediately before thinking. Before we speak, we have to think at least 3 times. An astrologer told me, Maharaj, you have to be careful of what you say. And that is true for all of us. We have to be careful what we say. We have to think first. And sometimes, because the tongue, the speech is uncontrollable, then we get into trouble. We commit Vaishnava Aparad. Vaishnava Aparad starts from the mind, thinking inside the mind, criticizing, looking for faults. And then, because it's always there, then it will come out. And then after some time, because of this, because of envy, then there'll be physical harm. So one must be very, very careful. Words are faster than the thinking. So we have to control the mind. We have to be very careful. You must have met some devotees who speak so fast. Yes? They speak so fast. Uncontrolled. So be careful in association with them. If they are your friends, then you can give them some good advice based on the Bhagavad Gita. Control or austerity of the speech. So ultimately, this part of the Bhagavad Gita tells us the austerity of the speech. The main thing is that we have to be very careful. Prabhupada gave another example. Like a frog. I remember that. Remember that example of the frog? Croaking. Croaking, keep on croaking and croaking. And he doesn't know that time or the snake goes where the sound of a croaking is, and then whoop, immediately will be caught by the snake and be swallowed. So if we're not careful in our speech, time, the destroyer of everything, any moment will come. We don't know when are we going to die, and our next destination is determined of what we're thinking at the time of death, what we're saying. Any questions? Oh, you're already exercising your austerity of the speech. Austerity of speech doesn't mean you don't speak.
How to attend chanting? Because chanting, by chanting, our mind goes here and there.
Goes all over the universe.
Yes.
Not all here and there, all over the universe.
Yes. So what are the steps I should take?
Well, first of all, you have to be awake while chanting. Awake.
That I am doing, but...
Okay, but also focus your mind. Prabhupada says, what do you do when you're chanting? What do you think when you chant? He was asked the question, one of his disciples. He says, when you chant, you don't think of anything. You just hear the sound vibration. Or the best way to do it is chant in front of Tulsi Devi. We've heard the story of Haridas Thakur being enticed by a prostitute. His mind didn't get diverted with the beauty of the prostitute. He was chanting the holy name in front of Tulsi Devi. Or you chant in front of your deities, if you have deities at home, like Gaurnitai, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Or you chant in the association of devotees. If you chant alone, it's only you and your mind. And because in the initial stage, we are not so strong, the mind can easily defeat us. You tell the mind, I will listen to you later. But right now, you just relax. You just wait. It's like Haridas Thakur told the prostitute. let me chant for now. And after my chanting, I will listen to what you're saying. But for now, keep quiet. Okay? Or you can have the Maha Mantra in front of you. I used to do that. You know, like a mantra card. So whenever you say Hare Krishna, you just follow. You just follow that. Okay? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord and seeing the Maha Mantra in front of him, soon he will go back home, back to Godhead. I know some devotees, they chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, not the full Maha Mantra. They chant one more Hare, or one more Ram, or one more Krishna, or one less Hare, or one less Krishna, or one less Ram. They became habitual. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But others will say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. That's not the formula. The formula is 16 words. Yeah? So we have to, sometimes we should record our chanting because we don't know. Because we're sleeping, so we don't know what we're saying. Maybe you're saying something else. Huh?
What I observe that if I take bath before chanting.
If you take bath before chanting?
If I take bath before chanting, then sometimes then my mind does not go there for some time, at least for 15 minutes.
So keep taking bath. Every 10 minutes, you know, you have this spray, water. Maybe you'll be awake. In the early days of ISKCON, devotees will have this squirt gun. If they see someone sleeping, okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. When someone's sleeping, we don't have that now. Okay? What Prabhupada says, when you chant, you should chant hearing yourself chanting and hearing others chanting also. If you chant only hearing yourself, more likely you are sleeping. Because you're not hearing others. You think you're hearing yourself, but actually you're snoring. Okay? No, you have to hear others also chanting. If you are with the devotees, but it's difficult to chant alone. Prabhupada says don't chant alone in the beginning. Don't go somewhere, hide yourself, or go chant in your bedroom. You will go back to bed very soon. Guarantee you that. Because the mind will make you, it will trick you. Oh, you take rest. You can chant later. Huh? You know, I think you already chanted one round. That is good for now. You can chant the other 15 rounds later. Don't chant alone. We're not that advanced to chant alone. Okay? Anything else? Yes? If you're falling asleep, you stand up and walk. Pace yourself. Prabhupada would do that also, right? can you balance telling the truth without agitating them? It's an art. When you say something to others, it should not be out of false ego. When you're truthful, when you are sincere in what you're going to say, and you do it in a very, very palatable way, carefully, it may hurt the other person, but the other person can understand your purpose. It's not what you say, it's how you say. It's a different thing, isn't it? I have something to tell you, but it is my delivery. Many devotees, they're very emotional. If you hear something from others, which it may be truth, but it is done in a very harsh way, you'll become an enemy of them. Even though you want to help them. You want to help. This is the duty. We should always think how to help others and not to think ill of others. Devotees like that, always helpful, always assisting, okay, always lending hands. So we should do it without any false ego, without false pretense, without any motive. Our only motive is to help. And that's why if you want to correct someone, we've heard it in the purport, you must have a relationship to that person. Either you have a relationship to that person or you are an authority. Huh? It's like managers. We are managers in Vrindavan. One of the managers. So it is my duty to look for mistakes, to look for faults on others. Why? So that they can make advancement. If I just close my eyes, okay guys, you can do whatever you like. I'm not going to say anything. In the beginning though, I don't say anything. I just want to let them know that they should know that I know what they're doing. And they'll correct themselves automatically. I don't have to say something. Silence actually is very powerful. More powerful than words. So sometimes I just look at them, not in a very, like, no. Like with somehow some compassion is there. Okay? With your friends, you can slap the face of your friend. Hey, you fool. But you cannot do that to everyone. No. You will not have any friends if you do that to everyone. Okay? It's an art. It's very delicate. It's an art. And we have to learn from our mistakes. If we say something and we said it in a wrong way, we should learn next time. I should not repeat this again. I should do it in a different way. Yeah? You can do that to you're still young. To your children, especially nowadays, the youths. Oh boy, you tell them something, the parents, they'll rebel. They go against you. Because you don't have children, so you don't have that experience. I'm sure these grihastas here, they must have that experience. So even the parents, to correct a child has to be done in a nice way. But sometimes if they don't listen, then you use danda. Okay? Alright, shall we stop here? Oh, you're exercising your austerity of speech. You didn't say anything. Srila Prabhupada came! Hari Bol! Hare Krishna!